Guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Lizzie and Linsey. Nice to have you on the show. That was really beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I heard some things on the internet before, but it's something that when you're actually there, it all comes together.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I want to talk about that in a little bit. But first, you guys are from Australia.
Yep.
You had separate careers up to like 3 years ago. So you were already working with animal sounds before.
Yep.
How did you come up with the idea to record or to use recorded animal sounds for this particular project, and how does her voice fits into all of that?
So I'd been working, doing a solo show called The Extinction Room, and using the sounds of endangered and some extinct animals, but obviously they're extinct, so it's difficult to record them. So it's more recently extinct. Using those species sounds because I wanted to try and connect in a much deeper level with people about what was going on with climate change, with the current 6th extinction crisis.
And when you say deeper, you mean deeper than what we see on the television, or?
By deeper, I mean, I guess, an emotional and heart level rather than an intellectual level, because the problem is most of us know what's going on. We know that humans are causing havoc on this planet, and but people turn off because it's so...
too much information.
It's too much information, and so people turn off. By using those animal sounds, because some of them are incredibly beautiful and very emotive, I wanted to connect, and connect is the key word, connect directly to the heart, and I felt that worked, because it allows people to express the grief which maybe they're holding in, but also not just express grief, but feel that it's necessary to act and
state of emergency,
and change our lifestyle, and hopefully, and with. The thing is, using a digital instrument, it was always a little bit too clinical for me, even though it's animal sounds. And so I thought, what if we bring in something even more organic, like the human voice? And so I did a number of different projects combining the human voice, and that then makes it a much more sort of organic sound.
Because that's what we hear. So we see you using the digital instrument, but in there's the animal sounds, different animal sounds.
That's right.
And you have like how many scales that you can...
Well, I've got 6 octaves range, so that wind instrument is just a controller. It's just like a synthesizer, but the sounds that it is playing are I'm only using animal sounds, and I'm only using the sounds of endangered species. So every sound apart from Lizzie's voice that you hear is an animal sound, but for example, in the piece that we've just played, Critical, the first sound you hear is actually Spix's macaw, which is a critically endangered parrot, which the sound is up high, sort of like that. But if I take that down 3 octaves, it's a very low sound. I use it, So sometimes I'm using the sound at its original pitch, and sometimes higher and lower. So
and that's where you come in with your super beautiful and clear voice. And weirdly enough, because we're talking about endangered species and what human beings are actually doing to the world, but when we hear your performance, it's almost like there's perfect harmony. The animal sounds and your voice. How do I have to interpret that?
Well, I like to think of my role in Dangerous Song as the voice of human empathy. And so I'm trying to connect with the animals and express a deep emotion and appreciation, and also a sadness about what's going on. Almost
an apology, maybe?
If you interpret it that way. That's
because it's all up to us to interpret.
Yes.
Because what language, for example, are you singing in?
I'm singing in a made-up language. It's all improvised, and I do that because, as Linsey said, people have turned off to a spoken word, and so it's just another way to reach people's hearts so they can interpret what they choose to interpret and feel what they want to feel.
Wow. What is, for example, a reaction of one of the people in your audience that you remembered, so that you know, like, that's really what we want to achieve when we do this?
Yeah, I think probably for me, it's a recent reaction to a recent performance we did. It was actually a reviewer, but she was there in the audience, and she spoke of her reaction as she found that she was tears streaming down her cheeks. And her first feeling was a little bit of embarrassment, you know, in terms, and then she felt, no, this is what we're needing. We're needing to let this out, and she actually felt released. She said because she felt that she'd been holding all this grief in, and this allowed her to express that and then feel, no, we have to do something. In the current show that we're doing, Dangerous Song Blue, we use incredible underwater footage of David Hannon, who's an amazing underwater cinematographer, and that's the performance that we've brought here to Metal Cathedral that we're doing. And that performance is all about making people fall in love with the ocean. The footage is so extraordinarily beautiful, and we create a live soundtrack to that. And people, as in the words of Jacques Cousteau, we protect what we love. So we make people fall in love with it, and you say, we have to protect this. Rather than going, oh, it's finished, it's too late. It's like...
And whether they pick it up and actually do something with it, it's totally up to them.
That's right.
But at least they're touched. And it all comes together with images, sounds, your voice. It's a total package. Okay, we're going to listen to you. Thank you so much, the both of you, for
Thanks
being
for having
here.
us.
Thanks,
Giovanca.